Coming up next, it's Max Steel on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's the Bugs and Daffy Show, followed by the Powerpuff Girls on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Mike, Lou, and Oz, followed by Alvin and the Chipmunks on Cartoon Network. Next up, it's Tom and Jerry Kids, followed by the Flintstones on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Flintstones, followed by the Flintstones Kids on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Flintstones Kids, followed by the Smurfs on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Smurfs on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's a pup named Scooby-Doo, followed by Scooby and Scrappy on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Scooby and Scrappy, followed by Bugs and Daffy on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's the Bugs and Daffy Show on Cartoon Network.
Tom and Jerry, followed by the Powerpuff Girls on Cartoon Network. Up next, it's the Powerpuff Girls, followed by Johnny Bravo on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Johnny Bravo, followed by Ed, Edd and Eddy, only on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Ed, Edd and Eddy, followed by Zoids, only on Cartoon.
Coming up next, it's Toonami, followed by Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Dexter's Laboratory, followed by the Powerpuff Girls on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's the Powerpuff Girls on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Ed, Edd and Eddy, followed by Johnny Bravo. Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Johnny Bravo, followed by Courage the Cowardly Dog on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Courage the Cowardly Dog, followed by Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? On Cartoon Network. Up next, it's Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Followed by the Bugs and Daffy Show on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Bugs and Daffy, followed by Tom and Jerry on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Tom and Jerry, followed by Toonami Midnight Run on Cartoon Network.